I really didn't expect anything out of this season of The Ultimatum. The first season was mid, Queer Love was better, but this has been one of the craziest dating shows I ever seen. Alright, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, today we're breaking down the first 8 episodes of The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On, Season 2. I mean, it's kind of like Season 3, because there was Season 1, Marry or Move On, then there was Queer Love, and then there's this. But they call it Season 2, because it was not the queer one, you know? Anyway, I've only seen the first 8 episodes, and I'm going to be breaking them down like you've seen them too. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular taste takers, let's see if Nick and Vanessa Lachey were away for long enough to get us on their good side. Alright, quick background here. Since this is the 3rd season, you should already know the deal, but if you're new, let me just catch you up. The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On is a show created by Chris Colin. Now, Chris Colin does most of the Netflix dating shows, like Love is Blind, Perfect Match, The Ultimatum, Queer Love, and not on Netflix, but the American version of Married at First Sight. The idea for The Ultimatum, while crazy, is pretty simple. They go out and find couples where one person is ready to get married and the other person is not so sure. So they give their partner an ultimatum. Either you marry me or I'm out of here, which will never not be crazy to me. Anyway, Netflix finds these 5 couples and they're all gonna mix and mingle, and everyone is gonna find a new connection to match with. Okay, so when you find that person, you're gonna spend 3 weeks in a trial marriage with them. The person you came with that you wanted to marry or they wanted to marry you, they are now your ex. After your first 3 weeks with your new person, you're gonna do 3 weeks of trial marriage with your original person that you came with. At the end of that, you got a decision to make. Either marry the person you came with, marry the new person, or just leave her single and do your own thing. All right, make sense? No? Exactly. Let's get into these first 8 episodes of The U. Boom, episode 1. This one's called The Split. And I'm not sure that Netflix knew what they were doing with that title because it's too perfect. We'll get into that later, but the wordplay is crazy. Anyway, of course, before we do anything, we got to meet our couples, starting with Antonio and Roxanne. Antonio is 30 and Roxanne is 31. They've been dating for 4 years, and it was Antonio that gave Roxanne the ultimatum. First and foremost, I have to address the fact that this dude looks like Austin Reeves from the Los Angeles Lakers. Anyway, he said that as soon as he met Roxanne, he knew she was the one. And she says that he's just not ambitious enough for her. She also doesn't really believe in marriage. She's always working. And as the show goes on, we'll find out just how much this woman likes working. And speaking of work, I might have to rewatch it or something, but did they meet while he was working at McDonald's? I'm not saying something's wrong with that. I'm just reporting the news. Next up, we have Lisa, who's 31, and Brian, who's 28. They've been dating for 2 years, and it was Lisa that gave Brian the ultimatum. So he's doing the whole money thing we hear a lot on this show, where someone, usually the guy, says, I'm just not financially ready to get married. I believe them about 6% of the time. At one point, she literally tells him, you got a 6-figure chick right here. So is it the getting married part or is it me? And he says, no, it's not you. But he hesitated. I seen that. We got to keep a close eye on these two, because right away, we get a clip of them up at past 1 a.m. where she's crying, talking about how she wants to go home. But she ain't going home without a fight, huh? Next up, we have Ryan, who's 24, and James, who's 23. This is by far the youngest couple on the show, but they've been dating the longest. They've been dating for 7 years, since they were 16 years old. He says he doesn't believe that there's one true love, which is kind of crazy for someone who's potentially about to marry the only person they've ever dated. And he also says the financial thing, like where he's not financially ready to get married, which, I mean, for a 23-year-old, I believe that more than Brian. Just ask your mom for more allowance. Anywho, next we got Trey, who's 28, and Raya, who's 24. They've been dating for 2 years, and it was Trey that gave Raya the ultimatum. I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention that Trey looks like the poor man's Daniel Kaluuya. Anyway, Trey's parents have been married for 30 years, so he's like, look, I can see that it works, I want that. But Raya's never seen a marriage that works, so she's like, I don't really trust it. Another one of her beefs with him is that apparently he doesn't plan dates. And there's a scene where they talk about how, I guess she found some cute date that someone did for their partner on TikTok. She sends it to this dude, Trey. Trey tries to execute it, and he's like, all right, what do you think? And she's like, it ain't like the TikTok. Next, we got Kat, who's 27, and Alex, who's 31. They've been dating for about 2 years, and it was Kat that gave Alex the U. Kat is so nice, and Alex is just not that into it. I don't have much to say about these two at this present time, but we'll get there. Now they're all single and mingling. This is pretty much what I was thinking. Number one, the black people are just gonna switch. Roxanne is so boring. She's just taking everybody's resume and telling them all how much she likes working. Alex told Roxanne he owned a company. She almost gave this dude an ultimatum. She's like, oh my God, I love that, because I work from 5 a.m. to midnight. Who the hell wants to date someone that works 5 a.m. to midnight? You might as well just, in the future they say how AI is gonna go so crazy that people are gonna date them. Like, she needs to be on the trial team for that. Like, she just date Siri. Meanwhile, Lisa's not having any of this. She is not gonna make it. Has she ever seen this show? She's mad that her man Brian is spending time getting to know Raya like he's supposed to do. And she calls her the Hooters bitch, which is not nice. Can someone just remind her that going on this show was her idea? No one does. She pulls up on Brian talking to Raya, which brings us to the you gotta be kidding moment of the episode. Get it? The you gotta be kidding moment. It's like the ultimatum, and it's like I'm gonna keep saying them. Lisa tells Raya, I feel like you like him more, and that's bothering me. Raya's like, you know what? It sounds like you guys got some stuff to talk about. I'm out of here. Good job, Raya. Lisa's like, good riddance. She's only here because she don't love her man. And Brian's like, what? How do you know she doesn't love her man? Which was a great question. I would also be remiss if I hadn't mentioned the fact that Lisa called Raya a roach. Now that's completely uncalled for. Raya didn't do nothing wrong. She wasn't being nasty with Lisa. She wasn't even being flirty with Brian. They were literally just talking. I would just like to say that it's just not a nice moment for Lisa. I hope she looks back on this and be like, look, I was very not nice to another black woman. But that's not the you gotta be kidding moment. No. No, it's not. Because Brian accuses Lisa of being a little unreasonable. And she's like, oh, you want to see unreasonable? He walks away. She follows him. Then she hits him in the face. Damn! What is happening here? No, I don't think y'all understand. Lisa hit the man that she loves in the face for talking to a girl on a TV show that she brought him to talk to girls. In the face. Also, in front of everyone. This dude, Antonio, was like, holy moly. That's about the only cool thing Antonio does for the whole season. Unrelated, I think Brian left a sticker on his glasses. Boom! Episode 2. This one's called Unexpected Revelations. Now you see what I was talking about when I said Netflix didn't know what they was doing when they called episode 1 The Split? Because she split that. Anyway, of course we start this episode with an instant replay of that slap attack. Brian doesn't even know what to do. He's like, oh, word, you really gonna do that? That's lame. Imagine getting slapped in the face in front of strangers and then chasing down said woman who slapped you to talk about it. Now Lisa's out there saying, you only like Raya because you can get an easy smash. I can see if it was like Roxanne, a boss-ass bitch, but you're not learning nothing. This girl, Raya, has no brains. She's a ditz-ass female. And again, this is so messed up. For all the times where people say that black women don't get treated right on these reality shows, you really hate to see that the disrespect of this black woman is coming from another black woman. Anyway, Lisa's like, fuck marriage, fuck the ultimatum, we're done. Now Brian gotta walk in and talk to the rest of the cast, and they're all looking like, all right, we're out of there for now. Next, we got some more dates while the cast tries to figure out just who they're gonna spend their trial marriages with. Some quick headlines here. James tells Raya he got a fat ass. Then she goes on a date with Brian, fresh off that two-piece he got. They start talking about finances, which is very responsible. He's like, are you expecting the man to cover all the expenses? She's like, well, I do expect the man to pay the rent. I can pay like the electricity. Okay. Her financial policy is, if the card doesn't decline, I am fine. No, you're not. Now Lisa, yes, that same Lisa, is on a date with Trey, and she tells him that she likes their dates. Which is pretty funny, because just last night they realize that they got a lot in common. Trey's like, ugh, when I talk to Raya, I gotta talk about hair and makeup. Lisa played basketball, so he's like, damn, man, you hoop too? Yeah, Lisa, it must be nice to get to know someone that's not your man that you came with. Imagine Brian came through right now and punched her in the face. It would be a whole different conversation about domestic abuse. But we don't have to go into all that. Anyway, please note that Trey also likes Ryan. Okay, now it's time for everyone to make their choice, which naturally brings us the you gotta be kidding me moment of the episode. Because the whole time I'm watching this scene, I'm like, where the hell are Lisa and Brian? Lisa and Brian have decided to end this experiment and go home. They've also declined the option to tell the rest of the cast themselves that they'll be going home. They're going home because Lisa's pregnant. Boom! Episode 3. This one's called The Choice. We start with footage of Lisa and Brian, and we see where she tells him that she's pregnant. He makes a very weird face, and the first thing he says is it mine? Which I don't know if that's the first thing that I would say with the girl that I might marry on national television. Anyway, in the end, I think he's happy about the idea of being a father. I just can't help but think, imagine getting hit in the face by the woman you love and the next day finding out you got to raise a child together. You see what I'm saying? Why this is one of the craziest reality shows that I've never seen. Episode 1, people are getting hit in the face. Episode 2, we got pregnancy news. It's only 2 episodes in. Oh, and maybe I need the director's cut or just some behind the scenes footage, or I gotta buy the Blu-ray and just see the extra scenes. Because I have no point did I hear her apologize for going Jake Paul on this dude. Maybe apologies are played out. Anyway, Brian's back to talking about finances. I just hope he knows that having a baby costs more than a wedding. But enough about that. Them leaving the show makes the choices a lot easier. Because if Trey had ended up choosing Lisa, then I guess Ryan would have to be with Antonio. Anyway, the point is the choices are in. And it's not even dramatic like how I just said it, because it's 4 couples and they all just swapped. Trey and Raya came together, Ryan and James came together, and they just switched. And let me just go on the record by saying that Ryan and James are the least compatible couple that Netflix has ever displayed on their platform. Then we're left with Antonio, who came with Roxanne, and Kat, who came with Alex, and then they swapped. So just to recap, we got James and Raya, Jaya, Trey and Ryan, Tryon, Kat and Antonio, Cantonio, and last and least, Roxanne and Alex, Rolex? After all that switching and swapping, James takes a moment to get serious. I think James is always serious, but he's like, Trey, and let me turn to you when I say this. And I'm here watching it oh shit, it's about to be some smoke. James about to be all lives matter. No, I'm just kidding. But he's like, Trey, you did the right thing. Ryan's a good girl. Man, get out of here. Wasting everybody's time thinking it's going to be smoke. It's not even smoke. So now it's moving day. The new couple's first night together. We start with Roxanne and Alex, and this conversation is all over the place. Of course, she sees an office with the desk and gets horny. Oh my God, we can work here. Girl, in this freaking roller coaster conversation, should we shower together? Do you like traveling with your partner? Do you do anal? What is this? It's night 1. Over to Kat and Antonio Cantonio, they're only talking about their partners, which tracks. They also got this dude on an air mattress, but I think that was his idea. Ryan and Trey move in. They're like, are you excited? Yeah, I'm excited. These two are just moving weird. I got my eye on these two. All right, we're out of here. Finally, Ryan and James, where of course no one to this point has proven to me that James is not a robot. I'm sure we'll get closure at the reunion. I'll never get over how weird they are. I think their only connection is that they both had difficult childhoods. Anyway, they just get in and he wants to leave to go for a run. I think he just realized that she's black. No, I'm just kidding. Can you guys just be serious for a second? Golly. All right, yeah. He just calls his boys to vent. He's like, damn, maybe I messed up. I shouldn't have gone on this stupid ass experiment. Ryan is the one. It's like, you don't know what you got until it's gone. Shut up, James. Boom, episode 4. This one's called Catching Feelings. This one starts back with Ryan and James. He came back in the house. They're playing one of those get to know you games. Do you like having sex with the lights on or off? Do you like kissing with your eyes open or closed? What celebrity would you want to have a threesome with? Where James answers Ryan Reynolds. Not to hook up, just so we can talk to him. You telling me this man ain't a cyborg? Anyway, Raya takes this opportunity to throw all the shade of the Amazon rainforest at Trey for not doing foreplay. Okay. Unfortunately, now we're back over to Roxanne and Alex. She wakes up and she's so turned on that he had meetings all day. He already hates her. Over to Ryan and Trey. So far, they seem fine, but he does chew his ice cream, so that's just something to be aware of. James sets up some rose petals and wine poolside for Raya for no reason. Then Kat and Antonio, easily the most boring couple. And Kat is cool, don't get me wrong, but Kat talks like one of them, like a school teacher that just talks to little kids all day, and then when she comes home, it's like her first conversation with a grown-up. That's how she talks like all the time, you know? Sorry, Kat. Okay, this is the first friends and family meetup. We got Roxanne meeting Alex's parents. She tells them she just never believed in marriage. That's how she's even on this whole show. In the end, she's trying to talk business with Alex's dad. That's pretty much what we got from that conversation. Alex's parents hate this girl almost as much as Alex does. Next, we're back with Ryan and James. And honestly, this is so dumb. Sorry I'm wasting your time with this, but I think the you gotta be kidding me moment of this episode is hold my hand gate. And this is when Ryan's complaining that James doesn't hold her hand, which is not dumb to complain about that. Of course, she can raise her hand and say that. But the conversation is just so hard to watch. It's like, you don't hold my hand. I do hold your hand. Sometimes I don't want to hold hands if it's uncomfortable. And it's like, do you want me to hold your hand? And she's like, I want you to want to hold my hand. Do you want to hold hands? No, I like holding hands when it's comfortable, like when I'm in the car. Well, when we're in the car, you don't hold my hand. Enough! She's asking him for more intimacy, and not like all the way intimacy. She's just saying she wants a little more lovey-dovey. And he's like, but I cook and I clean. That's not what she's talking about. Also here we find out that he cheated on Ryan. What the hell? Way to bury the lead. We end the episode with Ryan and Trey. Trey tells Ryan that he has feelings for her, and he's never felt more valued than how he feels right now. Okay, shade. Ryan does not say that she also has feelings for Trey, but she doesn't not say it. Boom! Episode 5. This one's called Are You the One? We start with more family meetups. This time, it's Alex meeting Roxanne's family, and she's like, all right, open the door for me. Let's start this off on the right foot. Roxanne, let me just tell you, it is far too late for y'all to start on the right foot. Her parents get right into it, though. They're like, all right, what's up? What did your parents think of Roxanne? And he's like, they thought she was fun. And Roxanne's dad's like laying it all down, like what he expects from someone that his daughter's dating. He's like, look, son, when I come over, there's none of that watching the game on the couch stuff. You get up, you open the door, you shake my hand, and you have a conversation. I'm like, all right, bro, relax. I'll talk to you. He's like, do you pull out chairs and open doors for my daughter? And he's like, I do. And she's like, you do? Damn. Then Alex is like, well, I guess not always. Her dad's final test is like asking this guy, so, would you marry yourself? I guess the right answer is yes, and here's why. And Alex didn't answer it perfectly, but Roxanne's dad said that he answered it better than most of her other dudes, probably including Antonio. And say what you will about her dad. Of course, no one wants like their parents hovering and meddling all up in their dating life and all that kind of stuff. But I will say that it's nice to like have a parent that cares about who their kid dates and like wants to spend their life with. Like it's important. Like not everybody has that where maybe parents don't care or maybe family doesn't care. It's like a fine line. It's like you don't want them all in your beeswax, but it's just nice to know that like her parents are interested in this. So I just had to say that. All right, now it's Trey's turn to get some family time. He's meeting up with Ryan's brother Reed and Reed's girlfriend Caroline. And you would think that it was Caroline that's part of the family because Reed ain't getting a word in. Overall, I guess it goes well because they're like, damn, Ryan, we never seen you like this. Trey got to be feeling good. They also must hate James, or at least like this software version of him. All right, now it's time for the infamous girls' night out and guys' night out. I'll just drop a couple highlights of each, starting with girls' night out. First of all, Kat always looks like she's surprised that someone's talking to her. She's telling Roxanne that she thinks it's cool when Antonio shows her all these UFO videos that he's all obsessed with. And Roxanne's like, actually, I hate that shit. Like, girl, stop being a grump. She probably hates talking about aliens because she can't work with them. Anyway, she brings up Alex and she's like, yeah, it's going pretty good because we can talk about business. Girl, shut up. Kat is honestly just too good for the show. And she's probably not even too good for the show. She just don't belong on the show. and definitely not with Alex. Raya explains the static with James, then they ask Ryan, can you see yourself running off with Trey? And of course, in typical Ryan fashion, she doesn't answer. But the answer is no. Then Roxanne goes to kind of dragging Alex, where she's like, there's just a couple white lies that I catch him in, like the whole like pulling out chairs and opening doors and all that stuff. All right, over to guys' night. Here are the highlights. Of course, Trey is gassing up Ryan and James is complaining about Raya. And did James say that he thinks Raya wants to have sex with him? He's lying. Trey's like, I don't think that's true because she FaceTimed me and talked about it. First of all, there should be a rule where you can't contact, like in the trial, whatever, next season. The point is, James is basically telling Trey, no matter what happens, just don't marry Raya. They both hate Raya. That's crazy. James, Trey, and Lisa are going to make a Raya hate group. And I don't think she deserves that. Then I guess the you gotta be kidding me moment of this episode is the one-on-one conversation between Antonio and Alex. Antonio really thinks he's a journalist because he's like, all right, Alex, do you want to date Kat, break up with Kat, or leave with Roxanne? This man Alex said, none of the above. Say what you will, but Antonio has like zero self-awareness, and I think in the beginning, Alex was just trying to protect his feelings. At least is what it looked like. Alex is like, look, man, she's kind of mean, and I don't know how to say this, but I think you're her whipping boy. And he's high-key right. I hate to say that Alex is right, but he's right. And Antonio's like, you're just saying that because you want Roxanne. No, he doesn't. Alex is like, look, bro, I don't know how I could be more direct. She doesn't respect you. Boom, episode 6. This one's called The Changeover. This is where we get into all that backlash after girls' night out and guys' night out, where everybody was talking all that shit about their partners and all that shit, and then you gotta just come back home and debrief it all. We start with Antonio, who comes back pissed off, talking to Kat, and he's like, ugh, Alex pissed me off. He said that Roxanne doesn't respect me. Kat's like, yeah. And he's like, I think Alex wants to be with Roxanne. And Kat's like, is that what he said? I'm telling you, Kat be up here, man. She just a little timid, but she up there. Kat's trying to level with this dude. She's like, look, man, Alex's parents texted me, and they think that Roxanne's just too busy to dump you. Now Antonio calls Roxanne. When did this dude become so unhinged? He's on the phone breathing all heavy. He's like, babe, why did this dude say that you don't respect me? Why would this shitbag say that? And here go Kat in the other room so unbothered, like, don't call him a shitbag. He's not a shitbag. Antonio now takes this moment to literally run away. He was running. Over to Roxanne and Alex. Now Roxanne is mad at that phone call. She's like, okay, Alex, when did I say that I didn't respect him? Ugh. And whose side am I even on right now? Why would you say I don't respect him? And Alex is like, I don't think you respect him. And Roxanne, like a true 9-year-old, goes, well, I think you walk all over Kat. Girl, do you respect Antonio or nah? Imagine telling someone that they don't respect their partner. And instead of saying, yes, the hell I do, mind your business, they talk about any and everything else. Then they get into cleaning gate. She's talking about how pretty much this dude's a terrible husband because she be cleaning the house and he don't help her. And he's like, you're not my mom. I'll clean when I'm ready. How can I hate so many different sides of one argument? Roxanne is insane because all she wants to do is work all day. And she literally came to this experiment with the dude voted least likely to have a job. And Antonio's so insecure because he don't got no damn job and he's dating literally the most important businesswoman that's ever walked this earth. I don't even know how she had time to come on this show. Missing meetings and all that kind of stuff. She could be working. Then freaking Alex just needs to be single because he's obviously smart enough to see that Roxanne is just not that nice of a person. But he also doesn't want Kat, probably because she doesn't challenge him enough. Like, anyone that's willing to tell their trial wife that he'll clean when he feels like cleaning, like while watching her clean on TV, they're just not here to make any fans. And poor Kat, the only real victim here. She's just as smart as Alex, but she's too nice to expose his bitch ass. And she probably feels trapped just being with him. She's too insecure to leave him and find someone else because she probably doesn't think she can. But she can. And that was just some low-level psychoanalysis from some guy that watches TV and makes YouTube videos. Back with Ryan and Trey. Sheesh, boy does it feel good to get a break from all the crazy. She says like she feels they're in the best situation. Girl, literally yes. The next scene is with Ryan and James, but I literally can't speak on it because it's too boring. Did I just speak on it? Then Antonio pulls up at Roxanne's house, crying. He hugs her, and she doesn't even hug him back. Do you know how crazy it is to see your partner crying in a very vulnerable state, and you can't even hug him back? He probably interrupted a conference call. Then back to Ryan and Trey, just being all nice and normal with that boxing glove scene and the photo album thing. Like, it's just kind of sad that Ryan doesn't like him as much as he likes her. Back with Roxanne and Alex, and good Lord, this is another crazy moment, but it might not be the you gotta be kidding me moment. But Roxanne has an adult moment, and she apologizes to Alex for her tone and delivery in their argument last night. And she's like, you didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. This freaking narcissist says, well, I'm glad you had a moment to reflect on that. Well, I should get back to packing now. She's like, bruh, don't you have anything that you want to say? Like, in return? He says, no. Now, any man with an ounce of common sense or emotional intelligence would hear that apology and be like,
I'm sorry.
But no, Alex's level of toxicity is too high. Over to Kat and Antonio, she's telling us like, look, I woke up and Antonio's stuff was gone. I don't know where he's at. Y'all can go find him. Antonio finally comes back and he's still on this whole like, Alex is trying to steal Roxanne from me. And Kat's like, you know, a little backbone moment. She's like, look, bro, I can assure you, Alex is not trying to steal Roxanne. All right, now we're back with Nick and Vanessa Lachey. This is like the little in-between reflection time before the couples go back with their original partner. And some of the things that happen at this is like Trey admits to Ryan that he caught feelings for Ryan. And look at freaking Ryan's face. Bruh. James is trying to open up. Then for some reason, Vanessa starts crying. Don't make it about you. Roxanne tells Alex basically like, you ain't shit. And Alex is like, yeah, you're right. Now here goes the you gotta be kidding me moment of the episode. Antonio jumps in trying to have a vulnerable moment. He tells Alex like, look, bro, you got money, you're successful, you're the kind of guy that Roxanne wants. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt threatened. So when you said that she doesn't respect me, it hurt my feelings. Alex goes, yeah, and I'd do it again. No, because this is serious. Alex goes, yeah, and I'd do it again. Like, what are you talking about? Why is this show so fire? The dude basically, what is it, the olive branch? He's trying to be cool, man. Just relax. Now, Roxanne's about to call HR on Alex. And even Kat jumps in like, why would he make this up? Why would Alex's parents make this up? Like, okay, Kat, go off. And finally, after all these accusations, Roxanne's like, I respect him like a motherfucker. She's telling Alex like, so you're saying word for word, I said I don't respect him? Girl, you cannot come this week against a dude like Alex. He will eat you. And he does. Alex is like, I don't know why you keep going down that route. I never said that you said that word for word. I said that's what I thought, and I still think that. I don't know why she can't understand that concept. Like, we all know she doesn't respect Antonio. Wait, do y'all think that she respects Antonio? I'm putting words in your mouth. Put it in the comments if you think Roxanne respects Antonio. No, I'm gonna say it seriously. Put in the comments if you think that Roxanne respects Antonio. Yeah, that's better. All right, we're out of here because the second trial marriage is about to start. Boom, episode 7. This one's called Change Your Heart. Naturally, this episode starts with Antonio and Roxanne smashing. If I didn't respect this dude, would I be having sex with him when I could be out working, making money for this family? No, I'm just kidding. Also, it must be said that Antonio butters his toast with a fork. Do with that information what you please. They're talking about marriage again, and Roxanne says that marriage for a woman takes away the look of independence, which I totally disagree with. She's basically saying if you see a successful corporate woman that's married, people will look at her like she's less independent. I don't know. I'll probably look at her like, damn, she's a corporate success and she's married. She's probably doing harder work at home on top of all the shit that she's doing here in the office. And if we're being honest, most men are so ignorant that when they see a successful businesswoman not married, they just ask what's wrong with her. Like, society is just a little backwards sometimes. Anyway, over to Kat and Alex, and I think Kat is sometimes the smartest person in the room, just very afraid to speak up. They're talking about love languages, and he's saying, like, because hers don't match his, he doesn't give her hers. Kat, it's just time to just go and be free. Over to Ryan and James, and for some reason, she feels the need to tell James how many times her and Trey walked out the house wearing matching clothes. Like, in what world would James want to hear this information? He's like, enough. I don't want to hear about this dude anymore. Okay, I'm skipping over some boring scenes. Now we're back with Roxanne and Antonio. And this scene is also dumb, but I just have to explain this. All right, they're in the kitchen. I think Antonio's like cooking for her or something like that. She is talking to her cat. She's holding her cat and she's telling this cat how much she loves him. She's like, I love you, little cat. I love you. It's a real cat. That was just for demonstration purposes. No Puss in Boots were harmed in the filming of this video. Why do you even talk? Anyway, Antonio turns around and he's like, love you. Roxanne says, mm-hmm. This woman really only means business. He's like, what the hell? And she's like, what? What do you want me to say? What do you think he wanted you to say? She says, well, I'm not going to say things I don't mean. Girl, you just told the fucking cat, you know what? But why stop there when you can keep digging the hole? She's like, all right, Antonio, sit down. You like sports, right? He's like, yeah, I like sports. Well, you know there's like different leagues, right? And you're just not in my league. And that ain't even the you gotta be kidding me moment of the whole episode. And now that I think of it, this next scene that I'm about to explain could be too, but it ain't. All right, so check it. Ryan and James are fighting in the middle of the night. Night vision fights are the best. Get this. He's mad that she was tapping her nails on the table like this because it triggered him. Apparently, it reminded him of when his mom used to hit him in the face. I don't even know what to do with that. But anyway, here goes the you gotta be kidding me moment of the episode. It is with Trey and Raya when they're meeting up with her friend. I don't even know how we got here, and I had to rewind it like 3 times to make sure I was hearing what I thought I was hearing. Then I had to turn on the closed caption just to make sure what I heard was what I thought I heard and saw and now read. All right, so the friend's asking Trey like, oh, so you guys got a lot closer. You guys were talking about everything, like no secrets, everything's like out on the table. He's like, yeah, we talked about everything. And she looks at Raya, she's like, everything? Like, you told him that you can't get wet?
What did she say?
Raya says, no, not that. Is your friend at lunch with you and your man telling him you can't get wet? On TV? What even is this show? Trey's like, I'm gonna just step out, let y'all talk about that because I actually gotta take a phone call. I think my house phone ringing and I think it's connected to my cell phone and it's about to ring. I gotta just, cause I'm gonna go outside and listen, y'all, the writers are still on strike. Just get comfortable with these reality shows. But freaking yikes. Over to the last scene of the episode, we're back with Ryan and James and they're having a picnic. He's finally opening up. He tells her and us that his dad died when he was 2 years old and his mom was never there. He starts crying. He always thought that he could never live up to his dad, so he would start hurting himself. He tells her that he was scared to tell her because he thought she would think he was weak. Like, yeah, bro, sure. This girl's been in love with you since she was 16 years old, and she would think you were weak for being vulnerable. Like, honestly, like, shut up, bro, and condolences. But let's act like we know who Ryan is. I just been watching her for 7 episodes, and I can tell you that she would have never looked down on you for being open and vulnerable. Like, Ryan is so freaking nice. In what world would you even think that she would? I mean, I'm sure he's just saying this, whatever. It's a good TV moment, but if he's not, then whatever, I'm sorry and all that stuff too. But it's like, it's Ryan we're talking about. Now, if it was Roxanne, I'd be like, bro, you gotta take that to the grave because ain't no way she's gonna be cool with that. She's gonna be like, wait, you had time to hurt yourself? You know how many extra shifts you could have picked up? I'm just kidding. And I know I ain't shit because at the end of the episode, then they put the little blurb where it's like, if you or someone you know is dealing with suicide or self-harm, make sure you contact yeah. I'm like, damn. Well, at least the resources there. Boom, episode 8. This one's called It's Time to Answer the Ultimatum. And honestly, this episode could have been combined with episode 7. Literally nothing happens here. So I'm going to touch on a couple headlines and then we're out of here. Ryan and James meet up with James' mom and she's already getting spicy. So I'm just watching it like, it's kind of wild to go on TV talking about how your mom was hitting you in the face. And then the next scene, we see you guys eating breakfast and we're all like, Yeah, I see it. Then Antonio and Roxanne are meeting with her parents, and she's like, all my exes were financially stable. I just didn't love them as much. Also, her dad could low-key host this show. He's like, Roxanne, what are you doing to make him happy? She never even thought of that. Kat and Alex meet up with his parents, and they tell her that, well, Roxanne said that she doesn't think that you're enough of a challenge for Alex. And I think his mom agreed. Overall, a bunch of other boring dates, but the gist is that it's the last morning before the big decisions. And that's the first 8 episodes. What a freaking roller coaster. You can't tell me there's another Netflix show with more action than this. I need next week to get here like now. All right. Some quick predictions. Antonio will propose to Roxanne, but while he's doing it, she's gonna be texting a client so she doesn't hear it. He has to repeat himself. She says yes, but it will not last. Alex does not propose to Kat. He says some shit about how he does still want to work on the relationship, but he will be lying. James does propose to Ryan. She pretends to be conflicted, but in the end, she says yes, even though she should say no and run as far away from this dude as she possibly can. Trey is waiting outside of the James and Ryan proposal. As soon as she says yes, then he's like, all right, Raya, will you marry me? She says yes. They are broken up before the reunion. I could also be totally wrong about all that shit. What do y'all think? As always, thanks for checking out Taste Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, I already asked you a couple questions throughout the video. So, number 1, do you think that Roxanne respects Antonio? Number 2, who do you predict will make it through to a marriage? Number 3, do you think any of the trial couples could be a real thing? I mean, only really could be Trey and Ryan. But yeah, what do y'all think? This show's crazy, right? I know it's crazy. I'll be back next week because they're gonna have the finale and the reunion. So I'll see you next Wednesday, where I hope for more fireworks. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace. And that reunion is gonna have freaking Lisa, who just hit that man in the face. If this was real world, they would have been like, I'm sorry, we have a no violence policy. You have to go home. I mean, she went home anyway, but she hit him hard. Imagine.